Welcome to part 6 of our DermCoder training series. By now you thoroughly should have reviewed the DermCoder program in parts 1 through 5 and know how to navigate and orient yourself and configure DermCoder for the very first time, as well as looking up CPT and fee coding information, diagnosis coding information including ICD-10, checking modifiers using Quick Check and the Correct Coding Initiative, and some general coding and billing rules. The last feature of DermCoder that we added in the spring of 2013 was our news database. And you can access that by the last blue tab across the top that says News. And what we do is on a regular basis, we scour the carrier websites from Medicare to United and Aetna. And if there's something that comes out that we think dermatologists or their staff need to be made aware of in regards to compliance or billing and coding policies or fee schedules, we post them in here for you to read. We don't write anything about them. We basically republish the text from those articles, give you the link or the source onto the internet where we found that information, and tell you what type of item it is and what carrier it comes from. For example, we have these major carriers here. We have these different types of news articles. Most of the time we're publishing either an alert, a bulletin, compliance-related issue, fee schedule change, things like that. And we recommend that you come to this news tab feature a few times a week and catch up on your reading. Since the spring of 2013, we have published over 328 news items, so about 300 a year. We're updating them regularly. Sometimes we'll go for days at a time where we haven't published anything, and then suddenly there'll be 5 that'll appear. Just depends on how often the carriers are putting out news. If there's something really important, really crucial that we think you need to be aware of, we will actually send an alert to the email address associated with your DermCoder account. The alert will say, hey, there's a very important news article that we think you need to look at in the news database. Click here. As long as you're logged in, it'll jump right to the article of choice. We don't do that with everyone. Otherwise, we would have pestered you with 328 news items throughout the year, and we don't want to do that. Only the really important ones that we think you need to be made aware of. And you can sort them by date. So if you want to see the oldest or the newest, you can click the little arrows here and sort them. You can search for words in the article. You can search by carrier or even by state. For example, if I wanted to see everything that was compliance related, I could do that, and it will filter and find me only the compliance related articles. I can also search for things in the title, etc. So, for example, if I wanted to look at this webinar on how to avoid appeals, I can simply click it. It'll show me what carrier, it's a Medicare carrier, what states it involves, and it'll tell you some information about that particular webinar. I could then click the hyperlink and go straight to the source where it came from for registering. So the news database includes all of that information. If I go back to the DermCoder tab here, it'll take me back to the News tab. I can also submit an article. So if I found something that I thought was really interesting that I'd like to share with my fellow dermatology practices around the country, and you think it's something worthy of us including, you can actually click the Submit News button here and fill out all the questions here, what type of article it is, what carrier you found this important piece of information from, include a title and some information about it and a link if you have it, and submit it to us. We will take it into consideration and we will add it if we think it's worthy to add into DermCoder. If you pull up something like this, you can print the screen, and it'll actually dump the information to a printable file to your printer. So that is the news database. Again, check it on a regular basis. Don't wait for us to notify you, because we send out only maybe 5 or 6 a year notices. But you will see in the month of June already we have probably 30 articles that we've posted. A lot of compliance deadlines are getting ready to go into effect July 1st, so that's why there's a lot of activity. So that is our news feature of DermCoder. It's very, very important. We will keep you up to date of what's going on in compliance and coding and billing and policies and fee schedule changes, etc. Another example of something that we will send a notice out. For the last 15 years, we've been dealing with Congress and CMS about the fee schedule reductions, where we're looming and facing a potential 20% reduction in Medicare reimbursement one year, and the last moment Congress repeals that decision and puts a temporary 90-day extension or 1-year extension. Whenever that type of news comes out, we actually send an alert to your email address, because we think it's really important. And as we learned in part 1 of the training videos, if you go to the Options tab under your notifications blue tab here, you can actually turn off those notifications if you don't want to receive those email alerts from us. But again, we do it maybe 5 or 6 times a year. Only the important critical things, we recommend you leave that checked. So that is the DermCoder news feature. As I stated previously in part 2 of the video, if you go back in time and you change to an older version of DermCoder, and DermCoder is reverted back to an earlier version, the news database stays current. All of the current, even though it says 2012 version 18, we're still looking at the 2014 articles. That news database is separate and will always show you the current data. You can most easily go back in time by just clicking the tops of the columns and sorting by that information. So that concludes the last of our training videos on DermCoder. As I stated earlier in the video, if you go to the very bottom of the screen, there's a bunch of tiny writing. If you click the support link at the bottom right side there, we have the list of our frequently asked questions. And if you have any additional questions in DermCoder, you can call us at our toll-free number or send us an email from the screen. But thanks. We hope you enjoyed the videos, and we hope you get the most out of DermCoder.